2025 is one of the most exciting times to be in crypto. We have seen Bitcoin break $100,000, and now we're at that point of the market where the altcoins are about to be released. Now, in order to have a successful journey, you need to know all of the powerful tools that are out there to help you with your trading journey. And that's why today I want to bring you a tutorial on how to trade leverage on BTCC. I'm Sheldon the Sniper, and I've been in crypto for up to 5 years. I had nothing before this. I was a carpenter, and somehow I managed to get trading right. And my job here is to teach you all of the tools that help me on my journey. What are the key things you need to pay attention to succeed in this market? So today I'm bringing you one of my partners, BTCC, one of the most incredible people and exchanges that I've worked with in a long time. Not only is their culture incredible, this was a company that spent a lot of money in the bear market. And by bear market, I mean hard times in crypto, when there was not much money in crypto. These guys were spending money to spread the word and to help get people educated on crypto. And that's what made me realize that these guys are incredible people. Now let's speak a few things about BTCC. They've been around for a long time. For over 10 years they have been here. And now they're on this mission to absolutely take over the crypto space. So those are two big things already. Firstly, they're great people. Secondly, they're here to make a big change. Now let's speak about a couple of perks by using BTCC. The first one is there is no KYC. You don't need any KYC to start trading on this platform. The second thing is they are one of the best in the space when it comes to low fees. If you are a new trader that's starting to trade specifically leverage, it's important to be with an exchange that has low fees. Therefore, every time you trade, you don't spend too much on the actual fees. The third thing is, not only do they have tons of different crypto tokens, they also have tokenized stocks, which means that you can trade crypto tokens and actually trading stocks that are tokenized. This is very unique to have, especially as a trader that's in crypto. We also taught to diversify. And this is a perfect way to have one place where you can diversify between crypto and stocks. So now we're about to start the tutorial, and I'm going to teach you how to trade leverage on this platform in a very simple way. So the first thing you need to do is open up an account. Now guys, if you look below in the description, you will find a BTCC link and you'll see Sheldon is next to it. I managed to get you an incredible deal by using the link, and no one has this deal. What this deal is if you sign up with this link today, you will get a 15% deposit bonus. So if you put in $10,000, you get $1,500 on top of that to trade with. The next thing that's powerful as well is by using the link below, you get into my free sniper school. This is a school that is valued at $2,000, and we managed to make it free. You get it free just by using the exchange link below. And what that does is it keeps me true to my motto. The way that I make money is on trading fees. Every time you buy and sell, I will get a percentage of that fee. If you blow yourself up in the first 3 months, I earn zero money. But if you succeed, and I can teach you and give you all the knowledge that I have, and you become a successful trader, I will make money off of those fees. And that's how I've set myself this target to help change the world with trading, to teach them everything that I know to succeed. And if I do so, I will get the reward. So by using the link below, you get an incredible bonus and you get an entire school worth $2,000. Now it's time to sign up. So the first thing you have to do is, once you've clicked on the link, it is now time to open up an account. So what you do is you put in your email address and then you put a password. If you want to create a new email address specifically for trading, that makes sense, or you can use your existing email to open up this account. Make sure you set a good password. Once you've done that, you're going to click the next button, and now you're going to get into the actual platform. Now that you've signed in, you get to the BTCC dashboard. Now there's a couple of things that I want to do. I want to show you around the platform, and then we're going to go into the leverage trading. So the first thing you can see on the top here is top left-hand side. This is the deposit place. If you want to deposit fiat, okay, or you want to deposit crypto, okay, this is a nice simple place that you can go to put money into the actual exchange. Then on the right-hand side here, you have something called markets, and I want to show you guys this. When you click on markets, you will see that you can see all the different tokens that are available on this platform. And then you could see over here under the spot section, you will get something over here called tokenized stocks. This is where you can trade actual stocks. Here's McDonald's even, right? Any of these you can actually buy, and these are tokenized stocks that you can buy and sell using crypto. So the markets is where you can find all the different assets inside of this exchange. Then if you go on top again, you'll find something called futures. Now what futures is something called leverage, and I'll explain that in a second, but this is where you will find it. And the main one that we use is this one called USDT perpetual futures, basically meaning USDT is the main currency. You will use USDT to buy tokens, and when you take profits or you get out of the trade, you will receive USDT. Then on the right-hand side, there's something called futures copy trading. That's something you can go do in your own time, see if you want to copy any good traders. Then what you have on the next one is spot. Spot is a very good way to invest in tokens, right? To basically buy tokens, and if you want to move them off onto a wallet, or you just want to hold them for a long period, this is the way to do it, which is spot trading. Then what you have is the benefits, the affiliates, and then on the right-hand side, this is the important part over here. This is where your personal information is. So the first thing you must do is if you click on your icon, okay, it's important to update your security. Make sure you have something as a second line defense when it comes to security. Remember, you are now in charge of your capital. So if someone gets your email and your password, and they know that, they can get into your money. So make sure there is a second line. Now the way you can do this is either an email verification, which means when you sign in, then it will send you an email with a code to get into your account, or you get something called a Google Authenticator. And what this is the app that you download on your phone. And it's basically the system that has this code, the 6-digit code that changes every 30 seconds. Which means if someone wants to log in and this code's changing, it makes it very hard for them to know what that code actually is. And what you do is when you enable it, which is this section over here, it will give you a QR code to scan to load this on your app. It is important that you have a copy of this actual QR code. So if you ever lose your phone or your device that has the Authenticator app on it, you can just reload that code on any new device. Do not lose that piece of paper. So here it just shows you that there are multiple ways to put a second line of defense when it comes to your security. Then going back to the top, you also have this area over here if you do want to KYC. I know they do reward KYCs, but you do not have to KYC to trade on this platform. Then if you go back to the top, you have the section called the assets section. And what this is, it shows you all your assets. And if you want to deposit, you want to withdraw, you want to move money around inside of the exchange, this is where you will do it. Now that I'm on that topic, every exchange has multiple wallets. And the way this works is they have something called a spot wallet. They have something called a futures or leverage wallet. These are two separate wallets inside of the exchange. And why they did this is so that you can diversify your risk. Leverage has a little bit more risk and it has a possibility of getting liquidated. And what that means is if you get a trade incorrect, you can actually lose a lot of your funds. Okay, but whatever happens there will not affect your spot wallet. And whatever happens in your spot won't affect your leverage wallet. So it teaches you can diversify, but at least they're not all combined. Whatever happens there, happens there. Whatever happens there, happens there. But it also means that you have to move money between the two if you want to trade on either one of them. If you have money in spot, but you want to trade leverage, you need to move the money across into the leverage account to take those actual trades. So going in over here under this transfer section, this is where you can move money from your futures wallet to your wallet account or to your spot account. So this is where you can move money inside of the exchanges. When it comes to withdrawing and depositing, if you click on this section over here, which is crypto deposit, you can see that this is where you'll select the token that you want to put inside of the exchange. You need to choose a chain. We know crypto has chains. Okay, Ethereum is a very good chain. Tron, 𝗕𝗧𝗖 is a very good chain. And this is where you'll be putting the actual deposit address in this section over here. Below, you'll find all your transaction histories and everything if you ever need to go back and find that information. So now I'm going to show you around the leverage platform. This is the tool that you're going to use when it comes to opening and closing leverage trades. Now remember, this is its own wallet. Okay, so you need to transfer capital into this wallet. Let me show you where to do that. If you look at this over here, you can go to this area over here where it says transfer. And this is where you can send money into this account. Now let me show you around. So the top left-hand side is where you will select a token. So you can then type in which token you want to trade. There's an entire list of all different tokens that you can trade on leverage. Then what you'll see is below, you'll see the chart of that token. So you can actually come and do your analysis on the actual chart. Maybe you want to use some technical analysis or something to identify when you want to buy or get out of tokens, right? This is where you can do it. Left-hand side is where you'll find all the tools, and then you'll have the chart. Then on the right-hand side, you have something called the order book. The order book will show you the price of the token in the middle, and then it will show you people that are selling and people that are buying. Now remember, when it comes to leverage, you can long and you can short. What that means is you can make money if the market's going up or down. You are just predicting. You say, okay, price is gonna go up. You can long, which is buy, open up a buy, okay, a long position. And then if you decide on the other side, you've taken profits, you've gotten out, I think the token's gonna come down, you can actually short. And if price goes down, you will actually make money, which is incredible. So one thing that's powerful about leverage is you can make money when the market's going up and down. So when it comes to this over here, when you are buying, you're buying from people that are selling. When you are shorting, you're shorting to someone that is buying. So that is what the order book is. You don't really use it much, okay? But it is important when you are trading a token to see that there's a lot of activity happening here. So you can open trades and get out of trades nice and easily. Then on the right-hand side here, there are two important modes. Now let me explain what these modes are. The one is called cross and the other one is called isolated. Okay, now what this means is isolated means that the trades and everything that you do individually is isolated. So if you have $1,000 inside of this account now and you want to trade the $1,000, however, you want to trade 10 different tokens and you want to open up $100 per token, what that means is isolated means that every trade that you take is isolated. It means that it's its own trade, and whatever happens there will not affect any of the other trades or money inside of this account. Okay, so it basically keeps it all to itself. So if you have Ethereum, Doge, Solana, and Solana does very badly, it won't affect your other positions, right? So it's a very safe way, and one of the best ways to start leverage trading is using the mode isolated. Then what you have is cross, and what cross means is let's throw it all into the blender. So if you have $1,000 here and you put in $100, it's going to use the $1,000 as collateral. So if something happens and price goes down and the $100 runs out, it's going to start taking from that money. And if you have multiple positions, where you have 10 tokens that are going and one of them go really bad, it can actually destroy the rest of them. That's the bad side. The good side is that you can use the profits to add into the trade. So for example, if you have $1,000 and you're on a 10x leverage, okay, and your trade goes into $500 profit, you can actually take that money and make your position bigger, which means it allows you to double compound and to use that to that. Where isolated does not do that. So it's your choice at the end of the day. When do I use each mode? If I'm trading more conservative and I'm trading multiple positions, I always use isolated. If I'm trading one token, and I decide that I'm going to take on more risk, trade with way less of my capital, and I want to grow this position big, then I will use cross. But I never use cross if I have more money sitting in the account or I have multiple positions. It's called calculated risk. So they both have their pros and cons, and it all depends which one you want to use. So you can now choose here, do you want to do cross or do you want to do isolated? On the right-hand side, this is where you will adjust your leverage. You can go all the way up to 500x. I would ignore that completely. Okay, I'm a 10x trader. Okay, it's important to know your risk, but this is where you can choose the leverage that you want for the trade you're about to take. So I'm going to choose a 10x as my leverage, which means 10%. I will get liquidated. If it goes down 10% and 10%, I will double my money. So by me hearing I can be liquidated, it automatically tells me I need to put something called a stop loss to make sure that I don't get liquidated, right? Okay, so that is where you'll choose your mode and where you'll choose your leverage. Below that, you have open and close. Now, what's great about this exchange is it makes it so easy when you open up a position that before you even open the position, you can have a stop loss and a take profit in place, which means once you take your trade, your risk is looked after and your take profits is there in place, which means you can sit back and the trade will either go against you with a minimal loss or it will go in your favor and you can eat lobster for dinner. Then if you go below this is where you have two ways to get in and out of the market. Now, the first one is something called market. And what market is when you look at the order book, you can see people that are buying and selling. So if you want to get into a token right now, you can go buy from the people that are selling at this price right now, okay? So that's a market buy, which means get me in quickly, okay? So if you have $10,000, it's gonna go find multiple people here to load up the $10,000. So you might pay a little bit in difference when it comes to the price that you're paying, but as long as you're trading high volume tokens, there won't be much of a difference, but it's getting you buys and into the position right now and quickly. This usually happens when something's breaking a big trend or something that I urgently want to get in and out of a token, long or short the token, I can market execute to get in and out. So as an example, if you see this over here, I have $192 and I want to get into Ethereum right now. I can go here, I can choose 14%, or let's say 40% of the position, okay? And I can long and enter the position right now. And you can see how quickly that got me into the actual token. So market is a way to get in and out very quickly, and it usually happens on emergencies or I need to get into this trade before it basically takes off. Then what you have on the right-hand side here is something called limit. Now what limit is when you want to be patient and wait for your price. So that basically means that if, for example, we're sitting at $3,600 on Ethereum right now, and you think we're gonna go to $3,400, you can actually put an order at $3,400 and have it in the order book. And what that means is if price goes down to 3,400 and there's someone on the other side to make the transaction will happen without you being at your computer. So if you want to be patient and you think price is going to come down, you want to wait for your buy zone, you can set a limit order. Now remember, when that limit order is in, does not mean that your trade is open. It means that it's there, and if it gets to that price, it will open up the position. So what I do with this is I use limit orders. If I want to buy something cheaper, or I think it's going to get cheaper, I'll put limit orders in and be patient to see if it hits. Also on the other side, when I'm in a position, I can set a limit order, a take profit limit order at a certain point, so that if I am not at my computer and it goes there, it can actually automatically take profits for me. So limit, you have control of the price, but not the time. You don't know if it's going to get hit or when it's going to get hit, but you can be prepared for it if price does go to those areas that you were predicting. Then next to that, you have something called SL and TP, which is stop loss and take profits, but I'll show you an even easier way to use that as we continue. Below that, you have your amounts of capital. So it has this word called free. That's how much money is free and available for you to trade right now. So if you had 1,000 and you had $100 in a trade, it will show 900 over here. Okay, remember, if it's isolated, nothing will happen to this money. If it's cross mode, this money will be used if this one starts to go in a loss, right? If the bottom position starts to go in a loss, it will start using that collateral. Then what you have is your price and the amount that you want to trade. So if you click on here, you can choose the amount of your free capital that you want to actually put into that position. Then we get to the juicy part, which is a nice, easy, and simple tool to help you start trading today, right? If you decide you want to get into a token right now, okay, and you want to market execute, before you market execute, you can put in a stop loss and a take profit. Now what these are two limit orders, okay? And it's basically saying that if I put my money in now, I put $100 in, but I want to lose more than $10, you can put a stop loss at that loss of $10. So if price goes down, and it's going to go down even more, rather cut me out with a small loss so that I can have my $90 to get in again at a cheaper price. So a stop loss will protect you. Then you have your take profits, which again, you think you're going to make $40 off your $100, you can have the take profit set. So if it goes there, okay, and you're not at your computer, it will take profits for you. So the simple way to do that is you've done your analysis on when you want to buy, either with a limit or a market, you can automatically already set your take profits and your stop loss before the trade's even open. So here, as an example, I want to buy Ethereum now at 3,600. I think after this, we're going to go to 3,900. okay? And I want a stop loss at 3,550. So how this looks on the actual chart, this line over here will be my stop loss, and that line over there will be my take profits. So there, I'm happy with it all, okay? Now I want to open up my position, and I open it up, and there we go. Now, as you can see, below, you will find your positions. This happens when a trade has opened up. It means you have officially taken your first position. Please hit the like right now or comment if you've just taken your first trade. I'm proud of you. Well done on taking your first step in the trading zone. It can be scary, simplified, and never quit. Very, very, very important. Here is the positions over here, and you could see all the information. Now, what it shows you is the token that you are trading. This is the quantity of the token that you own in the actual trade. So in this instance, I own 0.2 of an Ethereum. Then an important thing over here is something called an open price, which is your average open price. So that means if you bought now, you can see this line over here, this green line, that's where I bought. And let's say I bought a little bit more lower, it will always average out. Oh, you bought some here, you bought some here, this is your average entry price, right? So that's where you'll find this over here. Then you'll see the current price. What is the price of the token right now? Then you'll see, am I in a loss? Okay, or am I winning the actual trade? This is where you'll see the percentages. The used is how much money of yours that you put into the trade. So I had $192, I only used $72. Then you can see you have a very big liquidation price. This one that's sitting here in orange. Always put stop losses to avoid liquidations. Okay, but this shows you if price had to go to $2,793, I will get liquidated and I won't get this money back, right? Very important. And then you can see over here, you have take profit and stop loss. And if you ever want to edit it, you can click this button and you can change inside the trade if you want to change your stop loss or change your take profits. Guys, how simple is this? Very, very, very simple. That's why I like it, right? Incredibly simple. If you want to close your position quickly, just close it completely without hitting your stop loss or anything like that, you can use this button over here called the close section here. Then on the right-hand side here, okay, you can see that you have your assets at the bottom over here. Okay, it has your risk bar, how much risk are you in right now, your P&L, how much money did you use. And if you look below that, again, this is where you'll find your transfer button. Okay, if you want to move money, you've just made some profits, you want to move it back into spot, this is where you can do it. If you want to deposit capital, you can do it over here too. And guys, that is how simple it is to start actually trading. It's a very simple platform. Remember, you determine the amount of leverage, you determine the risk. For me, the important thing is if I'm trading more riskier, I use less capital. If I'm trading more conservative, I use a little bit more capital. You can have your different strategies, but you can see how simple it is to open a trade, put a stop loss, put a take profits, how easy it is to adjust your leverage. Now, one thing I want to finish off nice and strong with this as well is leverage was a very hard and bad thing in my life in the beginning. Right? It was really tough. But then I started to master it. And when I started to master it and have an understanding of its true power, I realized that we're in an industry where can you borrow 20 times more money than what you got anywhere in 10 seconds, right? Where? So the fact that you have this ability to create and to have more money than what you got can also be incredibly powerful. There's a lot of times when the markets came down and I was 95% in the market, but I had some money for leverage. So I was losing with 95% of my money, but I was able to trade with more than what I had at the bottoms. And when prices went back to the upside, I ended up making a lot of money, which means it gave me opportunity when things were bad. It gave me an opportunity to buy and buy bigger size. So guys, if you want to know more about leverage, I have a leverage school for you. This school is also entirely free. And this will teach you all the basics on how to trade leverage and any strategies and how to know what really works in leverage. And that is over here below in the description. So guys, that's it. I hope you enjoyed the video. Hit the like, hit the subscribe. Now, another thing is you get an incredible bonus by using the link below, but I want to make sure that you can claim it. So what we've created is a very simple video below in the description, and it will say how to claim your bonus. You can watch that video and we show you exactly once you've opened up with the link, how do you claim the bonus, how does it arrive in your account, and how do you open up your first trade with that bonus. Lots of love for me. I wish you an incredible journey in crypto. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you all on the next one.